the first one I think we've done together, at least in a long time.
I say we got to go back in the archives to see
Yeah.
how it's been a while. Probably even before we started hurricane season, it has been so long. Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskin's off for the next couple of days, so you got us two today and just probably you tomorrow. So still talking, of course, about Hurricane Melissa. Been talking about that for a week and a half now because, of course, all last week, very slow to strengthen after it became a hurricane on Saturday and then rapidly intensify into a major and, of course, one of the strongest on record to ever make landfall. It is the strongest ever make landfall in Jamaica, but one of the strongest on record to make landfall, period. And you can see there, it is still a strong storm. 105-mile-per-hour wind. Central pressure is at 964, and it has really been picking up some speed. We've mentioned this over the past couple of days. It's now finally being picked up between a mid-level cyclone for our basically a cold front, and the ridge that's off to the east. So it's in between the two. The wind shear has picked up, but all that really has done is move it. So you see now most of the convection is blown off to the north and northeast of the system because this is what's making it move. 30 miles per hour this one's moving. Yeah. So yeah. It
just kills me that, while this was going over Jamaica, and really before it even reached Jamaica, it was lingering in the Caribbean, bringing all of that rain to Haiti, and just crawling along at 1-2 miles per hour at times. And that's why they had so much destruction in Haiti and Dominican Republic, even though it didn't make landfall out that way, because it just brought rounds of whipping rain and, of course, those winds as well. So now it's really picked up the pace. And, of course, now that it's not affecting any lands besides Bermuda.
Well, the thing about Haiti is I think it rained for 8 days straight there. And that was the crazy thing. And we talked about this with Debbie. That didn't come really anywhere close to here, but it did bring a lot of rain for us here in Tampa. And then same thing for Helene, brought the storm surge, and it didn't make landfall here. So we actually have some damage video from Haiti showing some of that flooding that they had there. And again, just intense rainfall. I would like to see the actual, I'd like to see the actual numbers when all this is said and done to see how much rain they got. But as you can see from the video there, it's quite a bit. Yeah,
I know last week from Tuesday to Thursday, they had about a foot of rain, maybe even 2 feet of rain. And then that was before, before Melissa even made landfall in Jamaica. And because Haiti is so close to Jamaica and it was moving so slow, that was just Tuesday to Thursday, not even counting this weekend. So yeah, I can't even imagine how much rain altogether they got. And we're just getting a first look today at the damage. All of this footage that we're getting today, that's just coming in from Haiti because, a lot of these places, they've just been inaccessible and still are inaccessible in many spots. They don't have internet and just kind of off the grid. And, it's very unfortunate. But yes, and with Haiti, we were talking about this earlier during the 11 a.m. show. That is such a mountainous area too. A lot of that video that you see is due to those landslides. We had that orographic lifting, bringing all of that excess moisture. Plus, the storm was moving so slow, basically stationary at that time, just brought rounds and rounds of rain. And unfortunately, it led to all those landslides. And that's all that mud and everything that you're seeing. Not necessarily from the storm surge, although they did have a little bit of that. That is a mountainous area, so a lot of that damage was due to those landslides.
Same scenario in Jamaica where this made landfall was near a town called Black River. And of course it's mountainous in Jamaica. You got the river and the flow coming down to the coast, and that was right on the eastern side of where, of course, that made landfall. And here's the video that we have from Black River. So you think about all that rainfall. I think the forecast was 30 plus inches of rain, and all that rain coming down Black River to the town and then trying to go out into the Caribbean, but then all that storm surge pushing its way back. And that is devastation there. The damage that was done from, again, 185 mile per hour winds when this made landfall. So unfortunately, you can build those structures strong, but there's nothing that's gonna last through 185 mile per hour winds.
Yeah. Now this is the aerials that we're looking at from Black River, but I think we also have some damage video from Montego Bay and St. Elizabeth Parish, which is basically ground zero. We talk about Black River, but that is within that St. Elizabeth Parish area. And I believe we have some video from that as well. Okay, so that's what we're showing right now. That's all the flooding, and it's just so heartbreaking to see. We know that all too well. Of course, last year we didn't have a Category 5, but we had 3 back-to-back hurricanes, and after the hurricanes that we had here, it looked like a snowstorm moved through, but with sand, right? There's just piles of sand. Everything's wet. Here you're seeing all of that flooding in St. Elizabeth Parish, and that water takes a long time to recede as well.
And that's the thing about this system. I mean, think about what we dealt with here in Tampa. So we got Debbie, we got freshwater flooding, we got Helene, that we got the storm surge, and then we had Milton with storm surge and wind. Think about putting all the 3 of those hurricanes together, and that's what we're looking at here pretty much in Jamaica, except for stronger, of course. Milton is still, I think, top 5 on the list for strongest, but luckily it started to, lose some of its punch before it made landfall. So, and again, right now we're still looking at it being a Category 2. So this is a system that we've talked about for a week and a half, when it made tropical storm status. Probably still going to talk about it tomorrow before it really becomes a remnant low. But one of the things we talk about whenever we do hurricane forecasting is what these hurricane hunters do for the accuracy of these storms. We have these systems, these waves, and once they make their way into the Caribbean, and when you look at the track of this, it's all over the place. That's not the exact track, is what they're doing is at certain points in time, they're finding the center. But we have video of hurricane hunters, and this is intense. And I mentioned
Very
this
turbulent,
a couple days ago, they had to turn around.
Yeah. Yes, and something to mention here too, and this is politics aside, but a lot of these folks, they work for the government and they are doing this unpaid. This was a time when, government layoffs were going on and the government was at a standstill, I should say, and these folks were not getting paid, riding into the center of the storm so they could give that data back to us and get a better track. And the track and intensity and just forecasting has improved so greatly since, consider a storm like Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. We've learned so much since then and have become so much more accurate when it comes. Now, listen, there's still work to do, but it's all due to hurricane hunters like this. And James, I don't know if you know Matt from My Radar, but he was on one of these missions, and he actually was vomiting.
Oh, so he's the one that's now famous for throwing up. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I don't ever get airsick. That would make me airsick.
Oh, I would be scared to death.
Yeah. Just what these guys do, and this is mission after mission after mission. And I met some of these guys down at the Tropical Weather Conference that's in Texas, and I mean they fly through dozens. I mean, some of these guys 20, 30, 40 systems that they've flown through. So, they're nice and calm and collective, but I definitely would not be. So this is where we get, and you can try to judge the strength of a system from a satellite, but the dropsondes are a direct sensor, just like a radar. It's going to be much more accurate. And that's where we get more accurate forecast cones. And I got to tell you, over the last 10 years from the National Hurricane Center, their cones are on point because of the data that we get from the hurricane hunters. Now, we have also some video of Montego Bay. This is another thing we talked about. This is on the opposite side of the island, but from where Melissa passed, and you talk about, hey, the right side is the dirty side of the storm, but you go on the left side if you're going behind it, and that's where you get the wraparound. So Montego Bay and St. Elizabeth Parish, that's the damage that we were showing you here. We also have some satellite of some before and after. If we could pull that up, because it would be interesting to show of the before and after shot. And wow, I mean,
terrible.
It's just there's just nothing left there, and yeah, wow. See, that looks like it possibly could be Black River. See where the river is right there. So yeah, that's what that. And it's just a whole town there, and it's just the devastation is, unless you're on the ground in person, it's really hard to fathom what they're going through right now. So
yeah, James, I have a girlfriend that's her husband. His family's from Jamaica, and they were out visiting that way. She's from Texas, so she's a girl that knows her severe weather, but she's never been through a hurricane, at least a landfalling hurricane, especially of that magnitude. and they were in Montego Bay. And I told her, I said, man, I hope you have a sturdy shelter, which thankfully she did. They did move into a sturdier shelter, cement walls, the whole bit. But even that, the doors were blown out, and the pictures that she's just been putting up on social media, I mean, she had a before and after picture, and just there is not a leaf on the tree.
Yeah.
It's just so sad to look at, and it's just unbelievable. Until you can see something like that with your own eyes, it's just hard to believe.
Yeah, and we had a reporter there. Jason Allen's been in Jamaica since before Melissa made landfall, and he's now in Montego Bay with a closer look at the impacts. Take a look.
On the muddy streets of Montego Bay, a man takes a rest from cleaning up Hurricane Melissa's destruction. 2 days after the storm made landfall on the island, thousands are still without power and working to figure out next steps.
I just want to get things come back to normal.
Jamaica's prime minister says Melissa's winds tore the roofs off 90% of homes in the town of Black River, calling it ground zero. On this drive to Montego Bay, the trees keep grabbing our attention. The winds up here in the tops of the mountains just shredded all the leaves off of them. Even some of the palm trees are just a trunk now. Schools have been destroyed. Homes and businesses turned into rubble. Still, the focus for many is on moving forward.
I think the entire Jamaica is really broken because of what has happened. But we remain resilient. We are working to get to those who need as much assistance as possible.
Jamaica's international airports are resuming operations, allowing relief organizations like Global Empowerment Mission to fly in supplies.
Immediate need is always going to be basic living necessities. That's why we have those family boxes. It has food for a week and water. You know, we have 10,000 tarps ordered, and there's probably 50,000 or more roofs that are damaged. Everybody's going to need a generator to be able to survive.
Residents in eastern Cuba are also facing a massive recovery effort. And in Haiti, catastrophic flooding in one town is blamed for at least 20 deaths. This man says he lost 4 children, ages 8, 7, 3, and the youngest just a month old. Jason Allen, CBS News, Montego Bay, Jamaica.
It's heartbreaking, yeah.
That's just
So
terrible.
sad.
Yeah, wow. So we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to come back and we're talking about that front that's helping to give it a push. Actually, going to bring us some nice weather over the course of the next couple days. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about our local weather, and then we'll go back and I'll show you what's going on with the rest of Melissa and our extended tropics forecast. Stick around. Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Familiarize yourself with where your water shutoff valve is located. If backflow prevention devices are installed, get them tested annually.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
All right, welcome back. So, as promised, we were talking about some local weather, but first tying this into how this is really saving us from any tropical systems. we've had time and time again this season, James, this year is way different than last year. We keep having these fronts dip down, and really that's working as a nice shield, a nice block, especially this one, because this front was a little bit stronger than the previous ones we've had. But that's doing its job, where it's really, Melissa is hitching a ride with this front, which it's hard to see from this particular map. But what you're paying attention to here would be the brown versus the green, which is how much moisture we have to work with in our atmosphere to produce rain. And it's really not a lot of it, but you can see how Melissa, and this is going to freeze up on me, but you can see how Melissa kind of jets off toward the northeast because it's hitching a ride with that front that moves through our area and giving us all of that drier air. Now, we still have enough of moisture in our atmosphere that we've had a few clouds for today. You can see them on satellite there. In the wake of that front, it's also breezier, and a couple raindrops not out of the question, especially as you head a little bit closer to the coast. But that front is now draped over the Bahamas. We do have a few very light showers. Some of that may not even be making its way down to the ground in Manatee and Sarasota counties at this time, mainly close to the coast. And again, those winds are coming in from the northwest, pretty breezy out there. Let's check out those wind speeds. So in the wake of the front, the winds have definitely picked up the pace. If you joined me earlier today during our 11 a.m. show, the winds were much calmer. Now they're between 10 to 20 miles per hour, and we have gusts that have been clocked in at 25 miles per hour recently in Winter Haven. Lakeland recently had a 26 mile per hour gust. Sebring, 25 miles per hour, and Zephyr Hills also looks like they had a 25 mile per hour gust highlighted in the blue there. So that's giving us that nice refreshing breeze outside. James, when you walked out the side this morning, what'd you think?
It was amazing because my wife had taken the kids to school and left the garage door open, and I walked out, and it hits you. You're like, wow, this is the reason why everyone moves to this area for this time of year. And typically, it's right around this time of year through the month of November that we start to get these cold fronts come through. We have been seeing these cold fronts for the past 2 months, which is, what Colleen was just telling you, is very unusual for us. And it has helped really, number one, anything that has developed come through our area. It kind of blocks anything, but it also creates shear in the Gulf, which keeps anything from developing when these fronts keep coming through. And there's still probably in the next 7 days, there's 2 more fronts that are going to come through. So that's the good news for us, is that if anything does develop, then that's kind of what we're looking at, is this just helping to block us. And it's the timing of these have been so great for us. But I'm telling you, if you thought this morning was nice, wait till tomorrow morning. And then Saturday morning, even Sunday morning, it's going to get a little bit better for tomorrow morning as well. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, since you brought up the shear, I brought up that map to show you all of that darker blue. That is some gustier winds aloft that are really helping our atmosphere out, and not only to bring pleasant weather conditions here locally, but to keep any tropical activity away. Even if a tropical system had an idea of forming in the Gulf, it wouldn't have much of a lifeline there because of those upper level winds. And they've remained breezy. We're going into November 3rd now. Now look, we do get a little bit of a break there, but that's also when we're getting into the cooler part of the season as well. And the Gulf temperatures should start cooling down. So that will help us out too. James, when I was looking at different comments online when I was coming to forecasting Melissa and where Melissa was going to make landfall in Jamaica, I mean, I've seen some ridiculous things where people are like, oh, it's going to travel into the Gulf. And I was like, I don't know where you're getting that information from. And even if it did, it would still impact land. But I did want to tell you guys that we do have moderate chop out there for today. Winds are between 10 to 15 knots, and we have seas 3 to 5 feet. There is a small craft advisory that's in effect, and it lasts until about Friday. So we have rip current and small craft advisory until Friday evening. So it will be choppy out there. I don't think there will be too many folks swimming. Well, you never know. It is Florida after all.
Exactly.
But
water temperature 77 degrees.
Yeah,
like, not me.
It's still not. Yeah, I mean, if you're a northerner, you probably think that's nice and toasty. But
right, yeah,
when we're used to 80-degree water temperatures.
Yeah.
So. All right, I think we have to head to the break, but I do have more local weather to talk about when we come back. Just some Halloween stats, since it is going to be a cooler Halloween. We'll look over that, and then we'll wrap up with some tropical outlooks.
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
All right, welcome back. So this morning we had a temperature in Tampa of 58 degrees. The last time it was that chilly in the morning was back in April. Right now, temperatures close to the 5 p.m. hour are in the 60s. It's feeling great out there. We have some 70s sprinkled in. But what about Halloween and your little ones, your little ghouls and goblins? James has some little ones himself, and you know, they may want a sweater because by the time that they head out, we will have temperatures in the mid 60s. But if they're older kids and they're getting back around 9 p.m., well, the temperatures will fall into lower 60s, and this is for Tampa.
Right.
Some areas up to the north will be even colder.
By 9 p.m., they're going to be in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's really going to be a chillier Halloween. If you're wondering, the coolest Halloweens that we've had, the number one spot is back in 1930. 63-degree Halloween. Yeah, that's a little too chilly for me. And looking at Halloween for the last 5 years in Tampa, last year, I remember last year being cooler because that was after Milton, but the high was actually 86. So
yeah.
Maybe
Awesome.
lower humidity.
73 for tomorrow is going to be nice.
Yeah.
Before we head out, I want to show you one last thing. Land Rail Point Settlement on Crooked Island, which is just to the northwest of Turks and Caicos. You can see there. We were talking about how far Turks and Caicos was, but still, look at that damage going through there still as a Category 3 storm. And it was just